Okay, so here we are, and I'm not exactly if this is the proper title for this video, that this is my last video in my garage, but I think it is, and yeah, it's kind of a weird moment for me to sit here and say that because I've been working or making videos from my garage for the last 4 years, and I feel so attached to this garage. But before I go anywhere, I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you to my Patreon supporters, to every one of you guys who've watched my videos, who've left comments, who've given me encouraging messages and thank you letters. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you to every one of you. Without you guys, I would not be here today, truly. And I know I had to have done the work, I had to have made the videos, sharpen those knives, but without your support of subscribing, supporting me on Patreon, buying things I make from my e-store, none of this would be possible. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for making perfection what it is today. And so I just want to spend this few minutes. I'm actually just packing today and for the next week or two. And I just want to spend a few minutes here and just kind of reflect on my channel. And I just also want to make this video an encouraging message to those who are trying to pursue something that they love, or for those who are aspiring YouTubers. So I'm not a YouTuber in the traditional sense. I think I don't call myself a YouTuber. When people ask me what I do, I tell people I sharpen knives for a living, not make YouTube videos, or not, I'm not a YouTuber. So I want to come at this from a slightly different perspective. And so the history of my channel, I think, is something that is good for me to reflect on because it reminds me of where I came from. So as you guys know, 4 years ago, I started making knife videos, and they were literally just shot on my iPhone or on a GoPro, and I basically went out and bought, a dozen knives and a dozen whetstones. And before that, I was on a search for good knives and good whetstones. And so I went out and bought a bunch of knives I was curious about, bought a bunch of whetstones I was curious about, and I just started sharpening them, started using them, and I put them on video. And a few months later, you guys started commenting and asking me about certain knives and how it felt on this whetstone. And a lot of the information I was reading on the web, on knife forums, and all these other on Reddit subpages about knives, nothing was really adding up. And so I basically got deeper and delved deeper into the subject of knife sharpening, whetstone repair, and all those other things, Japanese knives specifically. A year later, after Perfection started, I had 40,000 subscribers, and fast forward, now 4 years later, after my first video on Perfection, I've got I don't know what the exact number is right now, but somewhere a little over 180,000 subscribers, which is awesome. It's awesome. And that, and so this whole channel started from a passion, a curiosity that I exploited, right? I mean, I went as deep as I could possibly go during these last 4 years, raising a family, raising 3 kids, and being a dad and a husband. And so for me, this channel has always been about my passion. There was nothing more than that. Nothing could have driven me to do what I've done if I didn't have the passion to do what I did. When my first daughter came, I had decided that it was time for me to stay home because I would live in a hotel for about 6 months of a year, out of the year. I worked for Subaru for about 4 years being a product rep. I would travel the country and talk about cars, which was a really fun job, but I hated it because I didn't like talking. For those who don't know, I have a really weak voice box. And so for me to talk for longer than, a half an hour at a time, it's really physically difficult. Like I would just get really exhausted from talking so much. So having a job that required me to talk all day long, 8 hours, 9 hours a day was really exhausting. I did that for about 12 years. And so 4 years with Subaru and another 8 years with Audi and Volkswagen. And it was time for me to stay home. My wife was a teacher, so we lived, we're a very humble family. We lived within our means, and I stayed home. I was a full-time dad raising Sierra, my first child. And then 2 years later, we had twins. So I was still, a stay-at-home dad. Nothing's changed. Basically what I'm trying to say is, outside of my immediate family, I don't have energy for anything else that I didn't love or care about. But I love knives. I love the whetstones. I love sharpening. And so once a week or once every other week, I would go back into my garage. I would sharpen some knives, record some videos, and talk about it and share my experience with you guys. And that's really been the last 4 years of my life, which has been incredible to have gone from that to where I am today. It's just so amazing to me to see and to think back and reflect on. It's like, wow, that it really did happen that way. And then along the way, a lot of people in the knife world, came by my side and said, we want to be with you. We want to see you grow. So it's been an incredible journey from that perspective. So as you guys know, that was leading up to this moment for the last 4 years, leading up to this moment. And then the last few months, I've been just thinking about, doing this more, and adding more content to it. I've really been talking about this entire concept for really the last year and kind of brainstorming how I can do it. And so it required me to travel a little bit more. A lot of you guys have been asking for things like sharpening classes. I want to host sharpening classes, but I can't do them in my home, in my garage, mainly because of privacy issues. So that's part of the reason why I feel like I should have gone, or I need to go out of my home to a dedicated workspace. And then also things for like traveling. A lot of folks, really a lot of restaurant owners have been reaching out to me, asking me to come dine out at their restaurant and meet their chefs and teach their chefs how to sharpen knives. A lot of these opportunities have risen in the last year, 2 years, that I haven't been able to pursue, mainly because my kids were too young. I didn't want to be away from the family for longer than a day. But now they're getting a little bit older and I can travel now. So I know that my kids can handle me traveling now. And so last year when I came back from Japan, last year was a really incredible year in Japan because I met some really amazing people within the Japanese knife industry that have helped me make some really amazing products. And more people have reached out and said, hey, we want to partner up with you and we want to make some knives with you. We want you to design some knives that we can manufacture. And so right before the pandemic became really big, and I was actually supposed to go to Japan earlier this year. It was good that I didn't travel because I would have been stuck outside of the US for I don't know how long. And so I have a couple of new knives that I've been designing via email and phone every night for the last like 3 months. So instead of having to be in Japan and actually being in the factory and designing this knife while I'm there, I'm having samples sent to my home, and I test it, I alter it, I make some suggestions to how to improve that design. I send it back via email, and then we're on the phone every night. So what you guys don't see that goes on in the background in my channel is that I'm on the phone or email or text with folks in Japan every night from like 10 p.m. to sometimes late as like 1 or 2 in the morning, and that's because of the time difference. And so that's been happening nonstop. And so I got a couple knives that I will show you guys in the next few weeks that I think you guys will like. And then I got some other knives coming in the next like 2 or 3 months that are going to be like really big projects as well. That's kind of what's happening right now. And so where I am now is I'm setting up a new work headquarters outside of the home. It's so that I can dedicate time and really focus my energy on doing what I want to do to grow my channel. There's a lot of content that I want to make that I can't do from home. And I've been so blessed to be able to afford space outside the home so that I can focus on my channel. And I have you guys to thank for that. I want to take my knife reviews and my knife knowledge and kind of go into the world and meet knife makers and learn more, because I think we can always learn more. I never feel like I've learned enough about a certain subject. And so for me, I know there's so much more about knife making that I can learn. So part of the plan one of the plans I have is I want to travel and meet knife makers from around the US, around the world. A lot of you guys have been asking for me to meet knife makers in Spain, Germany, Switzerland, more knife makers in Japan. So, all these things I have plans for. So I want to focus on them. And then a lot of restaurant owners have reached out, and so that's something that you're going to be seeing more of in the near future on my channel. And then, I'm working a lot with knife makers in Japan, knife artisans and knife makers in Japan. And it's just been such an amazing journey that I've been able to, sit down with some of the best knife makers and artisans in Japan and collab on knife designs. And you guys will see more about them. You guys will hear more about them and see more of them soon. So that's kind of the spectrum of where my channel has, started from, where it is now, and where it's going. And obviously, I'm still going to be doing knife reviews, whetstone reviews, and tutorials. That's what I love. I love sitting down and talk about, sharpening a knife for an entire hour, right? That's something that I've always been very passionate about, because I love exploring how to make a knife better, how to sharpen a knife more effectively. That's where perfection began. So that's not going away anytime soon. I'll be getting more knife profiles to work with. I'm getting more knives as we speak. And so you guys will be seeing much more tutorials and in-depth tutorials for knife sharpening. As for the space that I'm moving into, so, I've told you guys in the last couple of weeks that I've put in a number of offers in spaces. So in total, I actually put in 4 offers to 4 different spaces. And 2 of them were actually retail spaces and 2 are actually office spaces. One didn't work out. One of the office spaces didn't work out because the noise would have been an issue. That was kind of brought up to me in one of the meetings. And then the 2 retail spaces were both really nice. They're both 1,000 square feet. But one of them, the owners were very unresponsive, and they weren't really being reasonable with the offer that I made or what they wanted. And then the second retail space, which would have been actually really nice, it's 1,400 square foot. It's huge. This place is massive. I ended up going with the smallest space that I found, and it's only about 700 square foot collectively. It's actually 2 spaces. The first space is actually my office space, which is about 220 or 230 square foot or so. It's smaller, but I think it's gonna work, because as much as I want a big sprawling, 1,000 or 1,400 square foot retail space, being enclosed in a smaller space is going to allow me to keep things tidier, obviously, but also to kind of segment the workspace a little bit as well. That's not to say that I won't move into a larger space later on, but for now, I think this space will work just well. The office space, it's only, again, 230 square foot. And, it'll be enough space for me to work with. I'll have enough space for an editing table or editing desk. I'll have enough space for maybe a podcasting setup. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while now. And so that space is going to be like the visitor's space. When you come hang out if you guys come and hang out and visit me, we'll be in my office space for the most part. But unless you guys came to sharpen knives with me or one of the classes that I may offer, we're going to be across the hall. And that's going to be in the 400 plus square foot studio. And I can say studio now. These are actually studios, not garages converted to studios. These are actually work studios. And so all of my sharpening equipment will be in that room across the hall. And it's going to be so cool because it's roughly 420 or 430 square foot, and it's just for me. I'm not going to be sharing any walls with any offices in the building. So I'm in the center of this floor, And I've got AC, central AC, that's gonna be running 24/7. It's gonna be quiet in there. I don't have to deal with, gardeners. I don't have to deal with cars zooming by. It's gonna be complete silence in this space, and that's what I'm so excited about. But the thing I think, but if I have to be honest, I think the thing I'm most excited about is the doorknobs. I mean, I have these they have these really cool digital doorknobs where I punch in codes, and then I don't need a key. And then the front door, I've got like a thumb reader to actually walk into the door. It's just really cool, right? I never thought I'd have this accessible to me. That's my space. I'm buying all new recording gear for my new studio. So everything that you guys are seeing me use now, my cameras, my audio equipment are going to be up for grabs. I'm going to auction them off for $1 starting price and no reserve. So I'm going to offer it to my Patreon supporters, any of my Patreon supporters who are aspiring content creators. You guys will get a chance to bid on, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 of recording equipment for $1 starting bid and no reserve. So I'll be posting that in the next few weeks once all of my new equipment arrives and is set up properly. I'm getting requests from people from Alaska, from Hong Kong, from Singapore, from Germany, Switzerland, that they want to come here and take a class with me. I mean, that's pretty cool to meet people from all around the world, to come here and sharpen knives with and talk knives with. I think that'd be so fun. And so with that space, I can do sharpening classes, and then I can also do collabs. A lot of folks have been reaching out. So if you are a content creator and you want to discuss some collabs, hit me up in the comments, and let's talk. So I would love to have other content creators here and hang out with me, and we can learn from each other. That'd be really cool. So yeah, so over the next, it's gonna take me probably about a week to move everything and to set everything up, and probably about another week to get videos up, up like live. So I don't know if I will be uploading on YouTube much for the next 2 weeks, but if you guys want to be kind of kept in the loop with things, follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, and maybe on Twitter too. I don't think I'll be doing much on Twitter, but those two handles are actually in the video description. So you guys will see my Instagram and my Facebook handle. I'll be posting updates on those platforms maybe once every day or once every other day. Just basically snippets, photos and, really quick texts of like, hey, what am I doing right now? But I'll be doing some updates on there. I'll be posting them updates here on the community tab on YouTube as well. But most people don't even know what the community tab on YouTube is. So, but yeah, I'll be posting updates on YouTube as well as the other two platforms. But if you guys just want to make sure that you guys capture or don't miss out on some of the, the quick updates, the critical updates, and then just follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah, I am excited. I'm excited. I'm also a little nervous, to be honest with you. I think the reason I'm nervous is because so many of us wish we can have a home office, right? We work really hard so that we can work from home. So we can separate ourselves from the office and be home with our families. Since my kids have been born, I have not been away from them for more than, I think, 10 days or 12 days at a time. And that happened a few times when I went to Japan. The rest of the time, the last 5 years, I've been with my kids and my wife full time, right? And so for me to go away for 5-6 hours a day, 3 to 4 or 5 days a week, it's like maybe there's a slight sense of anxiety brewing up when I think about those things. So I don't know exactly how many hours I'll spend there every day. I don't know how many days I'll go there a week. I'm planning right now to be at the office about 5 hours a day for maybe 3 days a week, and then I'll kind of adjust it from there, maybe 4 days a week, because I am investing a significant amount of money into this new office, and so I need to make sure that it's actually worth my time there, right? It's actually worth my money being there. So and my wife and I have discussed this pretty extensively. We both have agreed that this is or at least I think we both have agreed that this is the best path, best path forward. And you know, we've made all the necessary changes in the home for this to happen. So, you know, we're both very excited for this, and I thank goodness, I thank the Lord that I've got such a supportive wife. And oh man, I don't know what I'd do without, you know, without a wife like that. But again, I want to just kind of take this all back, and I just want to say thank you to you guys, and just say I thank you. There's nothing else. I mean, there's nothing else, and I don't know how else to put it. I just want to say thank you. I'm so grateful for everything that has happened in my life. Every one of you guys who have left a comment, every one of you guys who've given me videos a thumbs up, who've purchased from my e-store, my strops that I make, you know, my everything, my knives that I launched last year. You guys have just, the support I've gotten from you guys have been overwhelming, and it's so humbling to think about like all of it together. And you know, I kind of, you know, when people ask me about my YouTube channel, you know, I kind of I don't know what to say. I just say I'm just the luckiest guy I know. I get choked up talking about this whole thing, you know, and it's because I never ever thought I'd be doing what I'm doing. And you know, and it's a reminder to me that, you know, if you love something and you have a passion for it, you know, pursue it. You know, my encouragement to you guys, ignore the trolls. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what sort of content you want to create. Whether or not you want to be a YouTuber or not, ignore what people are saying about what you're doing. People cannot see your vision. They don't understand your vision and your goals. So if you let those people who don't understand your vision affect your vision, it's never going to happen. Your vision will never happen, because only you can make your vision happen. Keep on moving forward with what you're passionate about, because without my passion of knives, I would not be doing what I'm doing. I mean, I would not have the energy to do what I'm doing. But because I kept moving forward, and I didn't stop after the first hate comment, I didn't stop after the second hate comment, I didn't stop after the 1000th hate comment on my channel, I'm able to do what I'm doing now. I know a lot of you guys have been writing me, asking me, how do you move forward from trolls? How do you get past people criticizing what you make, what you've said on a video, what you've posted? And I can only think that, I can only go back to myself and refer to myself and my own personal experience, is that you just got to keep on moving forward with what you believe in. Because if you stop and you read all the comments, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with reading comments, but if you listen to those comments and you let them influence your thinking, and you let them influence what you are willing to do, it's going to drive you nuts, and it's going to stop you in your tracks. Apparently on Reddit and on knife forums and all these other, you know, knife platforms, I'm the most hated person in the knife world. Now, I haven't gone to any of those postings and those threads to read what people were saying about me, but I get dozens of messages every single week from my supporters here on YouTube, and they also email me, and they'll send me a link to a Reddit post, which I never open because I don't really care what people think about me. I don't care what trolls say, right? Because trolls are trolls. They're nothing more. Trolls are nothing more than, you know, keyboard samurais who are cowards, and they're just out to spread hate. So ignore the trolls, and you just keep on moving forward with what you want to do. And for those who are aspiring content creators, go out there and create. Don't worry about what I think of your creation. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Just go out there and create something that you love, that you're passionate about, and that you believe in. And when your passion comes through, people will see it, and they'll respect it. You know, that's the only thing I can say, is that you just gotta keep on doing it. Yeah. And I know it's really hard to read a really discouraging comment, a really nasty comment, and it'll make you feel like you should stop. I've gotten plenty of those. I kept putting content out there that made sense to me, that answered my questions. And then you guys came for the ride. You got all 180,000 plus of you guys came along for the ride, and it has been an amazing journey. And now we're gonna do more of it. I'll get more trolls on Reddit, on the knife forums. They're gonna keep on spreading rumors about me. They'll keep spreading hate about me. My channel will keep getting bigger. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and it's all good, right? So what the trolls don't understand is that they're actually helping my channel get bigger, because the more they talk, the more buzz they create for my channel, the bigger my channel gets. So trolls can keep on talking. I encourage all the trolls who are hearing this message now, go back on Reddit, go back on your knife forums, post this video, get more trolls onto your thread, let them keep talking, because like I said, the more they talk, the bigger I'll get. I'll keep moving forward, I'll keep moving up, and the trolls would just be exactly where they are now, behind the keyboards, typing away, spreading hate, spreading lies, spreading rumors, and just being mad at themselves for not being able to do what I do. So a really quick note about the knives that are on my wall that I said are going for auction. Those are private auctions for my Patreon only, and so this is just my way of saying thank you to them for supporting me financially every single month. It's nothing changes. I'm still putting out content free on YouTube every single week, and people on Patreon, they're getting free content as well, and they get something extra whenever I have an extra knife or a demo for sale that I put on auction. And so this is just my way of saying thank you to them. It doesn't change anything else that I do here. If you're signing up on Patreon, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, that you are supporting me, what I'm doing, not so that you can expect to get a free knife or a knife at discount, because those don't happen all the time. I don't take review samples anymore. I pay for every single thing that you guys have seen on my channel for the last, really for the last 3 years now. And those knife giveaways that I get once in a while, I get those once or twice a year, and they don't come all that often anymore. And so, if you're signing up on Patreon just so that you can be, one of the first people to get a knife for $1, you might be disappointed, because you might have to wait 3 to 4 months before those knives become available, or they might not come at all for 6 months. So I encourage you, if you guys want to support me on Patreon, thank you for that. Or if you guys are considering it, that's fine, thank you. But don't sign up just so you can join the auction or join for the $1 knife sales. Okay, so that's all I've got to say about Patreon. That'd be it for today, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.